video when Barack Obama got elected. The Irish did a most fantastic video about claiming Obama for themselves. Obama. You've got to watch it. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely hilarious.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we
we are live.
Oh yeah! Now that I
You're
heard
cutting
Jackie
it,
say
Glenn.
it,
You're cutting it.
thank you, Jackie. Welcome everybody.
Let Jackie do her job.
We've been
Yeah,
having.
that's my only job I got.
That's it.
stand corrected.
Jackie is an expert at it as well.
Most
Good
importantly.
day, everyone. John Lavenia here for whatever day this is. My goodness, Friday, fun Friday.
Friday.
Our success mastermind. I am mid-move, and I still have this couch in this spot. So this is going to be the last thing to move. That and my coffee cup, and then so at least I know I've got a little operating space right here. But I am so glad to be here with everyone. How was yesterday? I heard Adrian just knocked it out of the park.
It was
with
amazing. Yeah.
Something happened there. That was amazing. And then Mark Riggle last night with tactical and global marketing. I'm not sure what happened, Mark. I'm going to have to check out the replay. But I was on a ladder with a paintbrush at that time. So that's what happens when people leave the place of wreck, and I can't hire a painter in the last minute. So not a wreck. I shouldn't say that, but kids and there's stuff all over the place. But my goodness, moving sucks. Thank you. In case you didn't know, now you know. And for those of you who are tuning in on the replay or on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're seeing this, we've been telling Irish jokes all morning, apparently. So it is Fun Friday. So who's got an Irish joke? Come on down. Nobody?
Look at Bill.
You guys set up seconds ago.
Yes.
Right.
As a matter of fact.
Sorry, Glenn, sorry, just 1 second. Did Star say I am an Irish joke?
Say that.
Oh,
That's cold.
Bill took a moment to have to realize what was being asked. Right.
That's cold, Bill.
Who's got an Irish joke? Yes.
Oh, go ahead, Glenn, go ahead.
So the physician in the hospital in Dublin is working desperately to save this woman's life and Mrs. Murphy's life. Save Mr. Murphy's life. He's hit by a car, some tragedy, and unfortunately, the doctor just couldn't save him. And Mr. Murphy passed on. So the doctor found out which parish Mr. Murphy and his wife were attending, and he went and spoke to the priest and said, "Father, we've got to give Mrs. Murphy the news, and I'm just not. I just don't have the heart to tell her. We did all we could." And the priest says, and this is the worst Irish accent you're ever about to hear. The priest says, "Well, just leave it to me, my boy. I've done this so many times, and you've got to speak with tact. You've got to be kind, and let people down. Give people the news gently." And so they walk over to the Murphy home, Mr. and Mrs. Murphy, where they lived, and knocked on the door. And she comes to the door, and the priest says, "Hi, good morning. Would you be the widow Murphy?"
There it is. There's the tact. All right, I got an Italian joke for you. And then I was just looking up Irish philosophy, and it's an interesting read. But we'll get to that here in just a moment. But there's this Italian guy who has broken English, right? So English is his second language. Comes to America. He and his wife, they're trying to have a baby, and so the wife can't get pregnant. They bring the wife to the doctor, and the doctor says, tells her like what's happening, and the guy, he gets the information. He's very distressed because the doctor said that there's a fish in the tube, and if she has a baby, it's going to be a mackerel.
Okay.
Insufficient tubes, miracle, right?
This would be our face palm moment of the morning.
Okay.
Well played. Well played,
joke,
Mr. Lavenia. Well
John,
played.
John, would you like an Italian joke?
I thought I just told one, but yeah, let's have one more, and then whoever's got it.
So
Go ahead.
anyway, Italians. I hate Italians with their slanty eyes. Oh, wait a minute, that's italics.
There you go. That's italic. Good stuff. Anybody got any dogs today? My dog is downstairs. Anybody got
Oh my goodness.
No, mine's
animal?
sleeping downstairs.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to our animal shows here, hopefully really soon. Nothing. Oh, we got one. Star. Who's that?
This is Betty.
And that
Hello.
dog.
Betty! I love Betty!
Beady
Hello.
He is a very lovely cat.
Well done. Thank you,
Very
Betty. Good to
cute.
see
She's
you.
a baby.
She's not. She's a big baby.
She's
Love
lovely.
her.
Oh, I
We'll see
miss
how long she
Betty.
stays here.
All right. So let me see if I can pin her video so we can all see it again. There you go. And how old is Betty?
She's about 5, but she's really little.
Hmm.
So, but she's very entertaining. She's very talkative.
Mhm.
Good.
She, she always runs to the door when you come home. She's like, meow, hello.
That's good.
She's more like a dog. She's got more dog characteristics.
Oh, so friendly, not as aloof as most cats.
Oh, yeah, she's very
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very
Unlike
good.
Bubble, who's kind of like, yeah, whatever. Is the food bowl full?
All right, David's got his hand up. David, no need to stand on ceremony. What say you, sir?
Okay, well, I don't have a joke for you today, but I'd like to share my T-shirt with you, and it says, "A fine ale may be judged with one sip, but it is better to be thoroughly sure."
That's good.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, so I got one more
I
joke.
have a couple of kitties to share. I got to see if I can switch things around here. This is
Oh.
Shauna.
Oh, hello.
Wow,
It was
that is black as
She
night.
She was a feral cat that came in from the school garden, and she's one who runs when I go upstairs to brush my teeth at night. She comes running and wants me to brush her teeth, and then when I pull out my hairbrush, she wants to be brushed. So I think her next life will be human. And this one, if you can see her, can you see her? This
Yeah.
is Luna.
Lovely.
So, and this is Luna, and we got her as a mate, although they occasionally play, but usually are quite aloof. They're cats, but they don't. Anyway, so those are my 2 girls.
That is
Well-
the strange thing. Like my cat, she likes to play with the children. So we got her when Elvie was about 6, and we used to mangle her and throw her about, and Betty, the cat, just enjoys it. And if Elvie has friends to play, Betty will be found outside Elvie's bedroom door trying to get in to play with kids. It's very bizarre.
I would love to show you all my Judah, who I'm sure you've seen climbing on my chair behind me, but he is of the aloof mindset. And not only that, he has me fully trained. Just saying. Completely trained.
Kim. So because of David's shirt, I have another joke.
Uh-oh.
So here it is. So what's the difference between a casual drinker, a problem drinker, and an alcoholic? So the casual drinker is sitting at the bar, a fly lands in his cup, in his glass, and he says, "Bartender, I need a new drink." Okay. The problem drinker, fly lands in his glass, takes the fly, throws it over his shoulder, takes his drink. The alcoholic, the fly lands in his drink. He takes the fly, holds it upside down, and says, "Spit it out, spit it out."
Nice.
Oh my God.
All right. So, what are we going to talk about today? We've got a lot of stuff going on. What an amazing week. I will have you know that I will be tuning in to our Be Heard event today. So that is for anyone who wants to be heard. That's mostly for our newer members, right? So that's something that you can. What time is that? Let's see. Be Heard.
7
That
Eastern?
is 3 p.m. my
3
time,
p.m.
6 p.m. Eastern.
6
There
Eastern.
you go. So middle of the night for our friends on the other side of the pond.
Of course, Izzy will
Early.
be there.
It's
Yeah.
only 11 o'clock our time. It's early for us.
I know. That's
Early.
that's like your midday snack happening.
That's like halfway for Ivy.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I will be there with that, and that's just if you want to offer some ideas, kind of shapes where we're going into the following week, and I especially love to hear from our new members on there as well. So that being said, I had an idea that I'm not going to do the Irish philosophy thing. We could do that another time. But I had an idea as far as something that's come up for me as a result of the feedback that you all have been sending me based on the emails that have been going out. So some of the emails have to do with, and if you're brand new here, you'll be getting these. Okay, it's all part of your experience and getting on board with all this. One of the emails has to do with my biggest challenge. And so you'll see it if you haven't seen it yet, where I talk a bit about something that has encumbered me that I noticed. Actually, I didn't notice. I needed other people to help me notice it, because when you're in the thick of it, it's difficult to see, when you're just kind of what Steve Covey said, in the thick of thin things. In the thick of thin things, things start to take on significances. I get a lot of significance, a lot of subjectivity. I'm in the woods. I'm trying to get out of the woods, and I'm adding all this meaning to it. And yet, an objective view, a third-party view of something could be like, oh, look, there's the path through the woods. Oh, I couldn't see it because I'm all emotionally involved. Does that ring true for anyone? Has everyone ever experienced that? Yeah. So you've got the ability certainly to think and make decisions for yourself, but like Solomon said, he with many counselors is wise, and I'm paraphrasing here, the Proverbs. Okay, that's who wrote Proverbs, by the way. This guy named Solomon, but he had many counselors for a time, and then he didn't, and he fell. I don't know how many people know that part of the story. Okay, but and I could think in more modern times, what's an example that can come up? Abe Lincoln. Okay, arguably one of the greatest American presidents. Well, guess what? He didn't fill his cabinet with people that just yesed him to death. He wasn't seeking agreement, right? Show me why I'm wrong, right? Let's debate this. What is that? That's called wisdom, right? Knowing that you don't know. What did Socrates say? I know nothing but the fact of my ignorance. So, and that guy allegedly knew a lot of stuff, right? So then what does that mean for us? Try and go it alone, perish the thought, which is why, of course, I appreciate this group so much and why this whole thing exists, right? Me do it alone? Oh, please. And I know that a lot of times, I appreciate the feedback and the gratitude and the experience that people are having who are experiencing this forum perhaps for the first time, just in the last few weeks, few months, however long you've been in this conversation. I'll tell you what, we wouldn't be having this conversation, at least not with me, not with this John Lavenia guy walking around on planet Earth, if it wasn't for me participating in it for the last couple of decades, okay? Because my life wasn't working. So thinking, what does it take for me to get to the next level in my life, or to create some progress, and to a bit more workability? It takes an objective view. So that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit here today, because we had a bit of an emotional week. Hats off to everyone who's shared, and including and especially, I'm thinking right now of Stuart and Leah, and several people who have had at least private emails to me, some emotional experiences over the past week. And so I'm going to give you a reminder that I give myself all the time, that does not require that I call my friend Glenn or Star or Rose and say, hey, what do you think about this? Okay, but it's something I could do to get objective right now, present time. Like, remember, be here now, right? Remember who you are, remember where you are. And it's something we talked about probably a couple of months ago in this conversation. And I know it hit a nerve with a couple of our members. In fact, Malcolm, has anyone seen Malcolm from the UK? Malcolm? No? You guys, no. Some of you know who I'm talking about.
I haven't seen him for months.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to Malcolm, but I know this had an impact on Malcolm, and then COVID, was hitting, and there was a lot of stuff going on in his community. I'm going to reach out to Malcolm, see how he's doing. But one of the things that he said, man, this blew me away. And it blows me away too, if I could just remember to do it. And that is when I'm in the subjectivity of it all the thinkingness, all the significances, all the whys and why nots, right? I stop, get up, leave the computer screen, go outside and look at trees. Just objective meaning objects, like things which do not require so much evaluation, so much thinking and my opinions and all this stuff. And sure, I may have an opinion about the tree or the stop sign or the bumper on the car, but just noticing it and not feeling like I have to affect anything with it, not feeling like I've got to, there's something to be done. And this is the argument for meditation. In fact, this could also be called a walking meditation. And I know we've got Nicola, who ran a group meditation the other day, which is going to be happening on Tuesdays now. And so for those who have never done anything like this before, there's nothing wacky about it. We're just sitting there and watching our thoughts for a moment, right? A little bit of background music or whatever, but just getting in the present moment. Present time is terribly therapeutic. What's another form of so-called meditation? Polishing the chrome on my Harley. Okay, it's pretty damn nice already, but sometimes I just go out there and make sure there's no water spots or whatever. That is an objective action. I know, and I get a result. I know what the result should be. I get the result just by, and it's instant gratification. That's the other thing about objective stuff, right? If you clean your kitchen, you do your dishes or something, right? That is instant gratification. I like that. I mean, I like to see, because a lot of times what we do in the business world, certainly, there's a lot of deferred or delayed gratification. Okay, so you still need to be gratified. You still need to know you're going in the right direction. So anything that you can, that doesn't require so much thinking, okay, as a respite, as a rest and a break from the subjectivity of it all, brings you back to present time and gives you a bit of fresh eyes. So like when I'm in the woods and I can't see where I'm going and somebody else can see objectively, this same sort of a thing allows me to see more objectively, okay, with or without someone else there. Allows me to, in fact, this works great for kids. Oh my goodness. All right, so you got a kid. This is brilliant stuff. Okay, so you got a kid who's acting up and they're getting all wacky, okay, especially 5, 6, 7 years old, right? Works on grown-ups too, by the way. Okay, so they're all getting wacky. Just like, hey, look at that door, and they look. Thank you. That's it. Just acknowledge them. Look at that bookshelf. Thank you. Right, present time. Okay. Okay. Look at that tree. Thank you. So simple. And it's like, oh, right. Guys, try this out. Try this out for yourself. So a couple of things are happening there. One is that we're inducing objectivity. Okay, we're just looking at objects. The second thing that's happening is we're acknowledging someone. I acknowledge the child when they did that. And then we can get back into whatever issue they were having. Once we just get back to present time. Okay. Nobody's being chased by saber-toothed cats. Everything's going to be fine. Okay. And it's the same thing in business. I know we've got a lot of people right now, and this is one of the other things that I is prompting this conversation for me today, is that we've got a lot of people who are looking to make it perhaps for the first time, in some cases for the first time, in the online business world, which has a lot of moving parts and capital, right? Money. You gotta get inventory, and you gotta do product research, and there's time and thought and all this stuff that you got to do before you ever see a profit. And one of the things that I've done when I've put myself in those situations, I don't want to say found myself in those situations, because I always had a choice. Okay, but when I've put myself in those situations where I want to tackle this big, machine, this big beast of a project, one of the things that I consider is what can I do right now to get some gratification in the short term? If that is, and here's my suggestion, okay, I'm not giving you specialized, personalized, business advice right now, But here's my suggestion. If you've got reserves, in other words, you can keep the lights on without having to make money with this thing right here, then you do the things that are going to lead to, of course, you making money. They're income producing activities, but they may not be fruit on the tree in the next, week or whatever, okay, or 15 seconds or whatever it is. If you don't have reserves, then definitely, what can you do to get gratification in terms of profitability, perhaps in some other direction? So one example would be, because I know we've got a lot of people engaging in new businesses. That doesn't mean you quit your job day one. Now, in some cases, you've got, with COVID and whatever else, displaced, right? You've been displaced. You can't show up at the office right now, okay, or the restaurant or whatever. So in that case, there are some people that take up other work, right? I know people doing handyman stuff and driving Uber and Lyft and whatever, or getting on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever platform, because they've got skills, they've got marketable skills. How do you think my wife ended up running a branding agency with employees and all this stuff she's got going on? She started doing piecemeal branding work for herself, right, for her own efforts, and then somebody said, "Wow, you design good stuff." She's like, "Oh yeah, thank you. Well, I can design one for you," right? And then next thing you know, there's all these other people that want designs, and she's hiring artists, and she's hiring web designers and programmers, and so here's this whole branding agency that arguably now, well, not arguably, definitely, right? There's professionals that can do the work better than she could, but at first it was just, you know what, I'll go do this web design or this logo creation or whatever it is to make a few $100s or a few $1,000s. Okay, not a money bath all at once, but it kept the lights on. That's real, by the way. That came out of a lean condition, lean times, right? We get creative. So my consideration for if you've been experiencing lean times, and I'm going to quote Napoleon Hill. He says, when riches come, they come so fast and in such great abundance that one wonders where they've been hiding during all those lean years. In other words, when we get into the flow, right, it kind of switches on and it's like, whoa, where has that been the whole time? We want to get into the flow. So two things to consider here. Okay, and try this on for yourself. This may or may not fit for each and every person who's listening to this right now. But number one is get objective about it. Look at what is. You're not looking to work with what should be. We work with what is. Okay, not with what should be. Yes, it should be better. The pandemic should be over, right? Lots of shoulds. Okay, let's work with what is. How do we know what is? Get objective. Just look. There's the chrome. There's the tree, right? Great. Now that we're in present time and we can just look. That's it. No evaluation. Just look. Now, okay, what would bear the most fruit in the least amount of time? What can I do right now? And not now that you have a little bit of objectivity and you don't feel like your back is against the wall, even though it may be, but you can at least turn your head now and you can look and assess the scene. Yes, let's get creative. Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't get creative until their back is right against the wall. And then they really got to get objective. Like they really got to just stop and look. There are millions of ways to make money in the modern economy. My goodness, we're all over the world right now. We got people listening to this, probably on every continent except Antarctica. I don't know. Do we have any Antarcticans on here? We haven't penetrated that market yet. Penguins don't buy stuff. But anyway, actually, little tidbit, bit of trivia. Do you know that Antarctica is the highest, the continent with the highest average IQ in the world? Because there's only like 20 people there and they're all like doctors and scientists and stuff. But yeah, Antarctica has the highest average IQ. They just don't buy anything. But the idea here is that there's so much reach that you now have with the internet, or even in the local space. I've had some conversations with people who were they're doing e-commerce work, and they've been talking with people who are delivering groceries. So I don't know what you guys have in your area, but we got Instacart and other things where people will actually go to the grocery store. You make your shopping list. They go to the grocery store. They get the stuff. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. They get the stuff. They bring it to your house. All right. So these people, is that like their life mission or anything? No, they're doing work, right? They're driving their car around, delivering people's groceries, and they may drop 10 loads a day. Okay, so that's a lot of exposure. Well, I know people in the online business space, not like, you know, major like Amazon selling kind of stuff, but doing e-commerce or different kinds of marketing, who you know, they're offering opportunities to people who are showing up at the door delivering their groceries. There's lots of different combinations you can come up with all this. So think about what you have, and think about what you need to, where you need to go in the short term. So think a little bit short term here. Yes, there's a bigger picture. Okay. And you can go, definitely whatever you do short term should be on purpose towards the bigger picture. But if you've been experiencing back against the wall kind of conditions that were very emotional or are very emotional, get objective, and then think about what can you do right now that will be gratifying in terms of money or whatever you need to accomplish what you say you need to accomplish. And then just be grateful that you don't have to do all this alone, right? If all opportunities come through other people, and they do, well, great news, great news. We got the interwebs. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Half of them are online. A lot of them speak English, or at least Irish, right? Get in communication with some people. What value can you put into the marketplace? Great question. Great question. I would tell you that people who experience desperation are people who forget what value they have to offer. People who sink into a state of apathy. Well, what's the use anyway? Why bother trying? Don't let that be you, right? And so if you, and hopefully you're finding edification and you know, counsel and instruction through these conversations. I know that's the feedback that I've been getting. Put that to use, because you so deserve to. Oh my goodness, you deserve to. Yes, yes. This is like one of the most highly esteemed groups of people that I could ever name on planet Earth. I put you up against, certainly, you know, lawyers, politicians. Actually, we do have some lawyers on here. You know, fill in the blank with whatever smarmy. That's not a word that I use too often, right? Groups of people with a lot of self-interest or side agendas or anything else. This is so pure, right? There's no side agenda here, right? This is about empowerment. This is about reestablishing and rehabilitating cause. In other words, you being effective, you remembering how able you are, and then demonstrating that. Let me go demonstrate that right now. So I'll leave you with this, and then we'll open it up. How can you demonstrate your ability today? Proving to yourself and to the marketplace, and perhaps to your bank account, how able you actually are. How can you demonstrate that today? This is a doing. It's not just a thinking, it's a doing. I see Habiba, Star, and Koila have their hands up. Habiba, if you would, my friend. You know what? I've known Habiba for at least 10, 12 something years. How are you?
15. It's been a long time. As a matter of fact, one of the things that has been going on for me, you always hit the nail on the head for me, John. You just always do. And I'm a fright today because I've been out gardening, so who knows what I look like. But I, you know, I've been in a place over the last couple of months where that piece of being present was feeling like more of a struggle to me. And I couldn't even tell you why. I was having a hard time getting my head out of my rear end. And so anyway, when you talked about presence, one of the things that is coming up in recall for me is Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Vietnamese Buddhist, wrote a book called The Miracle of Mindfulness that I read years and years and years ago. And one of the things he talks about is washing the dishes to wash the dishes, letting everything else go and just being present to what you're doing in the moment. And it's something that, you know, like washing the dishes and doing the laundry and those kinds of things. I enjoy doing those things because they are times for me to quiet myself, to just do what I'm doing. And it's amazing to me. It's funny how often we forget, right? But it's amazing to me that when I take the time to do those things, how much more clarity comes through, because I'm clearing all the BS out of the way and all the thinking. You know, you talk about the, you know, the thick of thin things. And it's like, you know, if I let my head get too busy in the stuff of life, and there's been a lot of stuff of life going on, you know, like all over the world and in my own life, there's been a lot of stuff. So long story short, this past week, I hit a point where I was getting back into regular habits of mindfulness. And I made the decision from that place, looking around and looking to see where my energy was getting caught, and recognizing that this overwhelm that I have been battling with is in the thick of thin things. And so I gave myself the week. I just said, you know what, take the time and clear out the crap. And so that's what I've been doing. Like, I've had boxes of paperwork and organizational things that have been undone for 2 years since I moved into the house that I'm in. And it's been plaguing me. And it's one of those things that just sits in the background waiting to be done, but it's taking up space. It's taking up energy, right? So it was like, give yourself permission. And I'm telling you, John, and everybody, but my energy in getting this stuff done has been clear. It's been focused. It's been productive. And it's because I'm coming from that place. And the beauty of it is that as I'm going through, I'm coming across things. One of the tragedies of this last week, and I might get emotional with this, is that there's a spiritual community that I've been involved with loosely for the last 15 years, but for 25 years. And I helped to build a community in California from ground up, and it has all burned to the ground. And the fascinating thing for me is that while there is grief for me, what's underneath of that is the love and the value and the experiences and the blessings of having been a part of that community for this many years. And in going back and digging up some old photos and sharing them with people in the community, it has revived a perspective that I had forgotten about myself, which is, you know, I've been in leadership in so many different capacities over the years. That was one place that I was probably at my strongest, at my most passionate about helping to pioneer and do new things. So in the grief, what it has done is also opened up this place of perspective and empowerment. So it's like the blessings amidst the craziness, right? But it's because of the mindset. It's because of the mindfulness of remembering what's present. And yes, there is grief in the letting go of the past in this circumstance. Not just the past, there were people living there. Like, there are people who have lost everything. But for me personally, there's this recognition that we have exactly what we need to build whatever we choose to create, right? And so we'll begin again. And so from that place, that's what I've been doing in my own home, is clearing the crap out of the way so that I can begin from a fresh place. And I'm not doing it alone, because I've been listening in on these calls every day, and I've been tapping into the places that give me reminders and give me energy and keep me focused in gratitude on what is present and what is real. So I thank you all for being a part of that in my life. And I thank you, John, for your constant presence. You always show up right when I need you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm assuming you're talking about the California fires.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Wildfires, yeah,
Yeah.
taking things out. So.
what a year 2020 has been so far, in multiple ways, good and bad. We've seen lots of opportunities and we've seen lots of crises, and our condolences on the loss of that place there. Habiba, thank you for always showing up in my world as well. You just show up at the right time. So thank you, my friend. And I'll catch up with you early next week. It's, moving, it's nonstop action over here. So where's my other friend, Star? I think Star's over here, and then we're gonna go to Koila and then Wayne. Hey, Star, what are you doing?
Hello, hello. How is everybody? Happy Friday. I just wanted to, Habiba, I'm sorry to hear about that. Evelyn and I were talking about the fires earlier in the week, and I know it's affecting a lot of our group members in California. Tough times. But I just really wanted to, this last few days, or a couple of days, I think, since I've not had Elvie, I've been really catching up on all the content on the website. And I'm just blown away by the sheer professionalism, the detail, and I think I've watched every single thing on there now. So Glenn's, the Shannon show, amazing. I haven't watched any of this week though, so I haven't seen any of Mark's shows, but the book club, Stuart's journey into the wild, just the most, and Adrian's tools. Just the most incredible content. I feel so truly blessed, and it just goes to show, doesn't it? Phoenix out of the flames, to excuse the pertinent pun, but from what everyone freaking out a few weeks ago, and you, John, have created something 1,000,000 times better, much more than any of us even knew was capable. It's just brilliant. And I would like, though, to put my hand up to maybe a few times changes, because otherwise I will just always be on the replays, because I, unlike Ivier, do need sleep. And I can't be doing these 1 a.m. calls unless I go to bed at 8 p.m. and set an alarm, and then I'll be all screwed for work the next day, and it wouldn't work. But I did notice on the e-commerce one that I watched today, which was incredibly helpful, Stuart was saying about maybe changing it to just after the general session. And I'd like to suggest as well for the book club list, the Psycho-Cybernetics book. I'm still reading that at the moment, and I'm on this chapter about happiness at the moment, and he's about take responsibility for your own happiness. The idea that happiness, or keeping one's thoughts pleasant most of the time, can be deliberately and systematically cultivated by practicing in a more or less cold-blooded manner strikes many of my patients as rather incredible, if not ludicrous, when I first suggest it. Yet experience has shown that not only that this can be done, but that it is about the only way that the habit of happiness can be cultivated. And just talking about cultivating happiness and separating the fact from the emotion of an event that happens, it's like, yes, that did happen. Like, yes, my landlord served me an eviction notice, but then how you feel about it is what makes it bad or good. So, and I just think that's a really amazing concept. I just read that this morning and thought I'd bring it to everybody as a concept to be thought about. But I think, yeah, the book club, if we can do that, that would be great. And yeah, just thank you, everybody, for all your contributions, and thank you, John, for putting this all together. We are truly blessed.
Thank you, Star. And I'm blessed to have you in my life as well. And I didn't put this together myself. I'll tell you what, this was an idea whose time has come. And as such, the right people just showed up. So that's what I was talking about earlier, was getting in the flow. Like when according to Napoleon Hill, when riches come, they come so fast and in such great abundance that one wonders where they were hiding during all those lean years. What he's talking about is getting in the flow. Okay, so riches could be, there's lots of things we could say, you know, I feel rich. Okay, in fact, something that I've shared with people, and I know I mentioned this to you all a couple of weeks ago. When somebody asks you how you're doing, well, one way that I could respond is, I'm healthy, rich, and grateful. Thanks. How are you? So what does that mean? Well, it's a thoughtful answer. And every time I hear myself say it, reminds me of where I'm going, you know, so thank you. Let's go to Koila, and then Wayne, and then Bill. Hey, Koila.
Hiya, and as Star said, we are truly blessed. And I'm so sorry about your community, Habiba. But yeah, it's just tragic. And today I've had a really, really day to be grateful for, as you were referring, and I've got enough energy to be bouncing off the walls at the moment, and I'd like to share that with John, who's looking a bit frayed, and Habiba, who obviously needs quite a lot of energy. And if anybody else has got some spare, you can send it their way too, because I think we've had a lot from them, and it's about time to give something back. Thich Nhat Hanh, who came up with Habiba, he wrote an awful lot of books, and I think I've read all of them. And they really are worthwhile if anybody wants to explore that that particular area, and mindfulness and meditation and dealing with how do you, I was wandering around at one time thinking, will I ever be happy? Answer, yes. Start now. That's kind of nearly a Johnism, isn't it, really? Be happy, start now. And work on it. So yeah, you can just make yourself happy. It's not actually that difficult. It sounds like it should be, but it's not. And to my day, I've got here my gold card. There it is. It's getting a bit tattered now. And I won't read you it all, but I'll read a little excerpt from it. It says, by Christmas 2020, I feel so grateful, confident and empowered that, ... I have left the bakehouse and have no need ever to be employed in somebody else's business again unless I choose to. That is what happened today. I had an interview this morning, was offered the job this afternoon. I've got a job working in the local care home that pays more money for less hours, gives me more time for my job. And I'm on the point of putting in an order for my first product to go on Amazon. And like I said, I'm bouncing off all the walls. So thank you, everybody, and lots of energy your way.
Thank you, Koila, and thank you for sharing your wins. This is beautiful. So you are moving in the direction you want to move. Thank you so much. Where's Wayne, and then Bill, and then David? Hey, Wayne.
Morning, John. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, thanks for everything there this morning. What everybody shared, lots of ideas. The more I'm here, the more things are going through my brain. I can't keep up to the ideas that are running around up there. It's fantastic, and everything inspires another thing. I was thinking this morning, I've got a few thoughts, and I'll be as quick as I can. I was thinking this morning about puzzles, and when you know there's an objective, there's a goal, as you start to put the puzzle together, you look at the same pieces multiple times, many times, and as the picture comes together and those pieces are actually in place, you continue to look at those pieces because they provide a reference to the other pieces that are not yet in place. And that's what I'm finding in this group right now. So many things get shared over and over again, but some of those pieces are now in place, but we're still looking at them because they help us reference and determine where the other pieces are going to be placed as time goes on here. So, and the goal is always there. It's that finished picture. So as far as being outside and just taking time, that's why I choose to live 50 kilometers from the nearest city and live out in the middle of nowhere. I spend a lot of time outdoors, and every morning I spend at least an hour. This morning I walked 4 kilometers and then spent about 30 or 40 minutes in my garden. And to me, that's that connection with the earth. And I don't remember the name of it, but our First Nations people, our indigenous people in North America here, had a practice in some of the tribes as they moved from their youth into their adulthood, that they would go and spend time in nature and sit. I can't remember what the name of the practice is, but they sit, and it's for 2 or 3 or 4 days, and they don't interact, they don't touch, they don't eat. If it rains, they get rained on, and they observe, and they become aware of their surrounding and nature. And at first, maybe they see the trees only, and then the grasses, and then the ants that are in amongst the grass, and they become very in touch with the place that they are, without interacting, and just observing and being objective about what's around them. So it's inspired me to go look into that a little bit more, and just understand about that awareness of our environment and connecting with the earth. And when I worked in Calgary, I had a 45-minute drive out to where I live here. And a lot of people would ask me, isn't that boring? Isn't that long? But it's through farmland. And for me, having grown up in the wild and nature, I drive that road gratefully after each day, because the stress of the business I worked in, that was my time to unwind. And I didn't listen to music, and I didn't listen to anything. I enjoyed silence, and I watched the fields, and I saw how, in the spring, the planting was growing, or in the fall, the old growth was dying off, the harvest was on, the deer would cross the road, the coyote was there in the ditch. You'd see an eagle, you would see an owl, as whatever it is. And it just helped me to connect back with the greater source that's around me, rather than being caught up in the day's stress. So sorry, that was a lot, and try to be as fast as I can. But thank you, everybody. You all bring so much to me, and just keep those ideas coming, please.
Thank you, Wayne. So glad you're here, brother. Let's go on to Bill McDonald. Hey, Bill.
I appreciate I've been on 2 days in a row, and I'll try to keep it short. First off, Habiba, really, really, my heart goes out to you for what you've done and what you're going through. So, but that through positive thinking, the group will come back together again. So, love it. Wayne, striking note again. I mean, I used to love driving my 85 miles to my work, and the things that I saw, the animals that I saw, and I still do that now when I walk around the lighthouse here. I mean, when I look out my window here, my house faces west. I see sunset every night, and I track it from one end of the hill to the other end of the hill as the year goes on. I walk over the other side of the hill, and I have the lighthouse, I have the ocean, the RSC, and I sit at times when I'm walking the dog, and I just look out to sea. And the amount that you pick up and you visually experience is phenomenal. But I see people walking past me that don't notice the 30 dolphins jumping out of the water behind them, or don't see the peregrine falcon that's just landed on the rock. And that to me is the meditation side as well. And I have to say, John, I mean, I spoke to you before about it. The integrity is everything is correct. And it's that habitual practice of remembering everything. This last 2 days when I was down in the west coast of Ireland, that's exactly what I got. Was every time this doubt came into mind, where I might say, well, I hope, I cut myself off and says, no, this is going to happen. It's not going to be, I wish, I hope, or anything that might be lesser than what it is. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to read you a few lines of a very quick poem, which is my favorite in the world. I don't care what anybody else likes in poetry, but this is William H. Davies, and some of you have probably heard it. It's called Leisure. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight, streams full of stars like skies at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet, how they can dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. A poor life this if full of care. We have no time to stand and stare. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. So glad you're here.
Thank you, John.
All right, so we've got 3 more hands up. We got David, and then Caroline, and then Rose. What's going on, David Dixon?
Hi, yes, thanks very much. I'm having a crap day today. And in fact, I've been having crap days all week this week. But every time I come to one of these sessions, I feel uplifted by the positivity of everybody concerned. So short and sweet, I just want to say thank you to John and thank you to everybody else in the group for making me feel better and making me feel more positive. and I can leave these meetings and go and face my problems and get on with them. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you, David. Thank you. And you are among friends. So, so glad you're here, my friend. So glad you're here. Caroline has the floor, and then Rose, and then I
Okay.
think I see Jane and Neil. Hey, Caroline.
Hey, hello everyone. So I always seem to be a couple of days behind. Like I never have the inspiring stuff to share on the actual day that we've got that subject. Anyway, so this morning when I was going through my journal, looking back at stuff, I came across this bit on adversity, and it's from Hal Elrod, the Miracle Morning author, but it was from his website. He has these long declarations he does. So I just thought I'd share it, and David, maybe this is maybe going to you to help you through whatever adversity you've been experiencing this week, okay? I know that where I am in my life right now is temporary and exactly where I need to be to learn what I must learn so that I can become the person I need to be to create the life I truly desire. When life is difficult, the present moment is always an opportunity for me to learn, grow, and become a better version of myself. As others have done, I turn my adversity to my advantage by accepting everything that's out of my control, past, present, and future, so that I can give myself freedom from emotional pain, be at peace, and create the life I desire. And it's quite a long one, but I just thought I wanted to share that. And one other little thing that's I thought quite a good one to remember for all of us is no more effort is required to expect abundance and prosperity.
Christopher, do you want to make those calls this afternoon?
Whoa, hang on a second.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Sorry. So no more effort is required to expect abundance and prosperity than to accept poverty and misery. I'm not sure where that came from, but it's in my journal and I just wanted to reshare it with people. It might have been from this group, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Napoleon Hill right out of Think and Grow Rich.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's a great quote.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good to see you, Caroline.
Yeah. And also I've got a small win to share because
please.
I placed my first order today, so I'm officially a global entrepreneur. Woo! So I just sent a bunch of money to India, all being received, and they're starting production. So happy days.
Wow. Well done.
So,
E-commerce is happening for Caroline.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend. Good stuff. Let's go to Rose, and then Jane and Neil, and then I see perhaps if we got time, Glenn. Hey, Rose. There's Rose. Let's get Rose unmuted. Come on, Rose. Rose. Rose.
Can you hear me?
There she is. There's
Yeah.
Rose.
There we go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, John. This has been quite a touching week with all the speakers, all the presenters. Glenn, Ego, EVA. I just sit here and I absorb, and I just want to be a sponge, so I don't quite often speak. But today I was moved by Habiba, and my heart goes out to her for fires and watching all that devastation. In the mornings when I walk, I live in the country. There are no cars. And Wayne, similar to what you see, I see wildlife, and being present with nature and having that time, that is truly my most peaceful meditation time I can have. And these calls have brought me the grounding foundation I was missing. So that's it. Thank you all.
Glad you're here, Rose. All right, emotional week. Let's move to Jane and Neil, and then I see Glenn. Hey, Jane and Neil, what's going on?
I've lost Jane. She's disappeared. I just wanted to share, obviously, concerns with
the dog.
Yeah, that's Aisha, the old one. So she's allowed to bark whenever she wants to. She's 14 and a half and has her own agenda in this house. She does exactly what she wants to do.
Can we see? I heard her. Now I got to see her.
She's in the kitchen. Aisha. You got to bring Aisha. I'll share what I was going to say, and then Jane can bring her out. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I work for the government as a paramedic. I write medical reports, and obviously sharing understanding today of everything that you're going through in America. With everything that's going on over there. But today, one thing happened to me, which was fair. As I was saying, I write medical reports. This is Aisha.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Teeth.
Teeth. Quiet. Yeah. As I was saying, thing happened to me today. I was writing a medical report. I was actually writing a medical report for the government, which on a terminal ill person. Normally, it wouldn't affect me. They obviously get benefit when they're terminally ill, but normally it wouldn't affect me. But this person was 38, had pancreatic cancer, other cancers, and had less than 6 months to live. I quite enjoyed doing this particular job because I feel in writing these reports, I'm actually helping these people. But this is when, regardless of everything else that's going on in the group and us trying to do as well as we can, what's going on with you in America, and obviously that sort of thing for that family, it brings a bit of realism to everything. Especially because I also wanted to share our wins that we've had in our business. Obviously, you know that we're doing quite well. I think we do share, and we'd set a target of actually selling £2,000 worth of product in August, which would be our first full month. Well, 2 days ago, we sold £250 in one day, and we are going to sell by the end of August £3,000. So anybody that's struggling with Amazon or their e-commerce business, don't give up, just keep going and think life is so short. You just can't afford to stop when things get a little bit hard and a little bit tough, because it's not been easy for us. We had the trouble, the same as Bill, with verifying. I've had to sort out advertising this month. It's not easy, but you just need to keep going. And life is short, make the most of it. That's it.
Thank you, Neil. Congratulations on your win. So you set a target. Check it out, everyone. First month out, 2,000. He's gonna 50%. In fact, we don't have a crystal ball. Maybe 100%. Double it, right? So 50% over target. Very well done. So now what? We raise our standards, right?
Well, my target was for just this last week we've done £1,000. So my target for to the end of October, for October that month, is £5,000. But I think I might have to review that.
That's it.
But I heard David obviously going through a tough time. It may be business, it may be personal, but just stick at it. Stick at it.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, Neil.
Oh, and the other thing is, before I go, I don't know whether you realize, but a few of us are all meeting up on Monday. It's a bank holiday here. So because of this group, I think there's about 8 or 9 of us that are meeting up at 2 o'clock on Monday near Brighton. So there we go. We're actually going to see people. I know Star, Alison, and I know a few other people. I think who else? Well, there's quite a few people anyway coming down for Monday.
Oh, I mean, isn't
So
she?
like physically in a physical location, bodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I won't
at
be
a
able to
pub.
get to Brighton on Monday. But,
Yeah. 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Monday afternoon.
You guys, you're welcome to come to Phoenix if that's convenient. It is hot as hell. Oh my goodness. One of the hottest, driest summers ever. So yeah, moving stuff yesterday in 113 degrees. All right, it is the top of the hour, so we're going to take burning desires. I do see Glenn and Wayne got their hands up. I did not want to neglect Glenn and Wayne. And any burning desires? Glenn?
John, what a great group. It was pretty, this is a pretty intense week been so far. I'm going to make this real short because we've got an anniversary dinner to get to.
Congratulations, by the way.
Before that.
He tolerated you for 5
I told you, it's the crack, John. It's crack cocaine.
Yeah, right.
Habiba, in my hometown in New York City, 2 buildings were knocked down almost 20 years ago. They have since been replaced by a building called the Freedom Tower, which is taller. I'm just saying. David, do you hear him? Do you hear him? Do you hear his voice? Balboa? Rocky Balboa, you, me, and nothing is going to hit harder than life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. To take the hits and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. You heard? So, rest of what I'm going to say is real short. I am going to pay public tribute to the best partner in crime and lover and best friend anybody could ever wish for. My dear wife, Paula, born in Coventry, family now in Somerset, in the city of Wells. Her apartment in Somerset used to overlook the fountain where the hoodie sat. You know what I'm talking about? So we are thrilled to celebrate our 5th anniversary. And if y'all don't mind, we're going to go and see the rest of the world together. So that's us. Thank you for welcoming me so warmly into this group. Paula says hello. And we shall meet again on Monday with more and more profundities and wins to share. Thanks. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Glenn. Happy anniversary, my friend. Wayne, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, just a quick one. John, just wanted to remind anybody who hadn't seen in the calendar, Sunday night's our first Metaphors for Success session. So the week starts on Sunday night, not Monday morning, if anybody can make it.
Metaphors for Success. I'm excited about that. I like me some metaphors, man. So my friends, Caroline, any burning desires? I don't want to neglect anyone here. Something you got to say before we wrap up?
Nope.
All good? Okay. So there's that. My friends, we're going to go ahead and wrap up then. I will see you all, or not all of you, but whoever wants to tune in for Be Heard at 3 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Kind of shape the week going forward. We're gonna have so much this week on the calendar. So check it out in the JL Success Mastermind members site. And then the other thing is, again, I want to acknowledge Evelyn Melendez for the Facebook group and others who are also participating in there. Although I haven't had any time at all to do like the interwebs thing. I got to get Mark's recording posted from last night. So Mark, if you got a title, please let me know. Because I haven't seen it yet. And I just want you guys to know that this has taken on a life of its own, and I couldn't be more thrilled or grateful for this. So thank you for helping this come to a reality. I'm going to get back to loading boxes.
Have fun moving, John.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Everybody.
I will see you guys later.
Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.